Hello and welcome to my studio here in beautiful Sedona, Arizona. What a beautiful area this is. I'm happy you could join us for our online painting course, and this is called Paint with Passion. I'm bumping into my palette back here. It's called Paint with Passion, and today we'll be painting a beautiful poppies, several poppies, 3 of them actually, in a ceramic or clay pot. I really like this old pot these poppies are in because, let's take a look at the painting up here. You can take a peek at where we're going to be going. There's our beautiful clay pot we're going to be doing. It's sort of a country style. I chose to do some yellow poppies, and as our little zinger, I put some red in here. Down below, we also have some lilacs and some wildflowers. We have a bit of a drape showing, a little frill on it, not too much, don't want to get frilly. And that drape sort of comes up. I've carried some of the color up here, but not too much, just a little bit up in here. Now, I want to talk to you just for a moment about the setup and how important it is for you guys to set your flowers up on a table in a vase. So let's take a look at my setup. Okay, now you can see how important it is to have a setup with a light. You guys can just barely see it, but I have a light on down here that gives me, you see these highlights in here? This is what you want. Gives us some, now because of the studio lights, it really does sort of cancel out what this light is doing. But when the studio lights are off, it'll be a nice bright light hitting in here. A little bit on here, some on the red puppy, and down below on the lilacs. But you see how important it is to set this arrangement up. Why is it important? Well, it gives you your lights, middle tone, and dark. In the back, I have a cardboard, black cardboard. It's in 3 pieces back here, just something to put back there so my drape can go over it. Also cancels out anything you might have in the background so it doesn't interfere with your setup. Also, another thing, I'm going to reach in front of you. I'm going to show you guys some stuff. This is the fun part because Catherine and I, we go out to the store, in the fabric store, and we pick all these fabrics out. This might be a nice brown to go with the old clay pot up there. You'll see on other paintings that we're going to be doing for this course, I'll be using a lot of these fabrics. Just wonderful stuff. Catherine loves to do that. Also, we go to the antique stores and look for old pots and things. On this course, you'll be seeing a lot of the pots that we purchased from the antique stores. I love to go antiquing. It's fun to do. Anyway, that's our stuff here that you need. You need your setup, which is so important. Now, let me talk to you a minute about your setup, because a lot of times, well, first of all, let me tell you, these are silk poppies, and the flowers they make today are just great. The anatomy, the way they make them are just so realistic, and you can go online, just look up silk flowers, and up you'll, because that's what I did for this, and up will come all this stuff for flowers. You have roses, you have lilacs, little stuff like this. So years ago, you couldn't do that because they weren't made that well. They were just made out of plastic or something and didn't look. So you had to rely on real flowers. And if it's during the season and you don't have access to real flowers, what are you going to do? Well, silk is around forever and ever and ever. And you can take them, you can turn them, you can push petals around. They're very durable. Okay, now, so you need to do that. If you don't, now, setups are so important, and I'll be talking to you about throughout this course, how important it is to set your flowers up, because it gets your imagination going. You can't think of everything. We all need help. right? We can't just say, okay, this person was born with this and they're so lucky and this is a God-given gift and blah, blah, blah. Well, we all don't have that advantage of having the gift. Most of us have to work for it. And by working for it, we need help. And where does that help come from? It comes from setting up your still life like this. You can it's so wonderful to work that way because you can take stuff and push it around. You could have these lilacs and you might say, well, wait a minute. Maybe I would like some lilacs. This is what's great about silk. Maybe I want them up here and I'll stick some up on the top. Yeah, just play with it. Have fun with it. Stick some of these things in there. Be creative. Have some passion about what you're doing. Look at it. It works. It also gets our creative juices working. It gets our third eye working. Now you're saying, wait, what's with this third eye stuff? I have two. Where's the third eye? We all have a third eye. You just don't know it. It's right here, and I'm going to be going through what that's all about during this painting and the paintings that will be coming down the line. Okay, let's come back up to the canvas, and I'm going to take this one down. Whoop, let me get rid of some of this stuff here. And just put it on down there. I'm going to take my painting and put it down here. And look what we have up here. Yep, we have a sketch. Now you can, this sketch you could be able to download along with a full color version of the painting. You're going to be downloading that. We will also, you'll be able to take advantage of our supply list, which you can download, which is going to show you all of this. This is my palette. Yep. And all these colors are going to be listed for you. So as I go through the painting, I might not mention everything on here. I'll try to. But it'll be listed for you where you can download all of these colors. All the mixtures will be there for you. But I'm going to go through and name all these mixtures off because you need to know that stuff. Basically, on all my paintings, you'll probably see me using basically the same palette. Also, I will be using medium, good old medium. What's in this medium? This is 50% terp, odorless thinner, I should say, and 50% linseed oil. I'll be using that. I also have on the side a jug full of just regular odorless thinner to clean my brushes because you have to keep them clean. The best odorless thinner to use, I've found, is either terpenoid or some stuff called Gamsol, which is also good. But either one works. Terpenoid's probably really neat. Just don't use that stuff that you get at the hardware store because that is bad stuff. Let's start in with our painting and let's see where we're going to go with this. This is wonderful. I'm going to start off. I've been painting for years and I still find this stuff exciting. How you could take one color into another and it changes into something else. I don't know how it works, but it's wonderful stuff. Here we have sienna. And I have about 1/2 inch and it's a filbert brush. It comes to a nice chisel. I'm going to come over here and put a little, I have it already in here, cad red light. You see it? So I have cad red light, burnt sienna out of the tube, and down here, black, which I've mixed into the back end of it. So I'm going from shadow into light, well, almost in the light, actually middle tone. Let's see how this works. I use paper towels all the time. You might not see me, but I'm wiping on that towel. Okay, let's come up. Oh, let's put in, oh, you know what I did? I don't have to. I turned my still life around, but I've got my painting. I'm going to take some ochre and a little of my medium, and I'm going to show up here just a little bit of where these poppies are. And it's just sort of in there. Oh yeah, okay. I forgot to tell you what's on the back of the canvas. I hear you at home going, wait, what's back there? This is gray acrylic, and it's dry. And you can just buy gray acrylic already mixed, or you can take some black and white and mix your own acrylic. I use a sponge brush, put it on with. And the size of this canvas is a 14 by 18. So that is just finding where the poppies are, no big deal. I work from dark to light. So I'm going to come down and pick up some of that mixture I just showed you, the sienna and black. And I'm going to come in here. Now I'm not using any medium. Why? Because I don't want it slipping and sliding. I want to feel the texture. I want to feel the hairs going across the canvas. Here's a dark going in. Follow your pattern. This is not a hard painting to do. Actually, when you look at a painting, this painting especially, or any of them that I'll be showing you, don't look at the whole thing because it's kind of, it's a bit much to take in. But all you need to worry about now is the pot. But we're going to put the pot in. We'll probably go around and put our background in. So we're going to take it in bits and pieces. And then at the end, it all comes together, and I'll show you how that works. It's so neat. Now the stroke is kind of all over the place, kind of a crisscross stroke. And we're going to bring that around this way. There's sort of a dark on the top. Now, there's your dark. I'm going to come into, let me show you the mixture. I want to show you everything. There's your dark I just put in. I'm coming on over, I'm going to add some of that red to the sienna, red. And that is going to go into our middle tone right here. Can you see that? Now look at the stroke. It's a kind of a crisscross stroke. Then we have our dark. Let's bring that around, this middle tone around. Maybe we'll bring a little around this side. Yes. Then we're going to go in, I'm going to pick up some orange and red, and put that in there. Try it, do it. I'm actually making this redder than what the pot is. Sometimes we just have to help things along with more color. Notice how I'm mixing that, how I bring the dark over, and how it started out really bright, but some of that dark is coming in, it's kind of killing that light. Yeah? Now we have a color called yellow ochre. Yellow ochre. And we'll take some of our sienna and yellow ochre. Put that in. Now again, we're working dry. Don't just go one way. But the brush is dancing all over the place. Why is it important to have these strokes going in different directions? Well, let me get a little bit of light. This is a little yellow and white. Let me tickle that out just a minute. Because if I lose my train of thought, it'll go bye-bye because I'm old. See that light going in there? Now I crisscross because light will hit the stroke one way and bounce off, and it'll hit the other stroke going the other way and bounce off. So this adds energy to your painting. If you go one way, the light hits it and bounces off in the same direction, and it doesn't have that energy that we're looking for. Orange, I want to pop this. How do I pop it? Look at that color. Pop. Paint with passion. That's what our shows are all about, coming your way. Paint with passion. That means popping color. Don't be afraid of screwing up. If you mess up, you mess up. It's oil paint. Everything can be fixed. Can you see how I'm pushing that paint around? I'm going to reach down from yellow, or yellow and white. because we lost our light. Sometimes you lose it, and then you go find it, and you lose it, and you find it. There, look at that. And very lightly, just hit it lightly. I'm really going for that light hitting in there. Yes, 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 yes. Now on reflected light, you might find a little cerulean blue. Cerulean blue and white. Let me show you what that's all about. Cerulean, or sometimes called turquoise. I'm going to come on down here and take some white. I'm going to take it up here, white, with my turquoise. And what you do is you're going to test that. See if that's what we want. I'm going to put a little right in there. Yes. And you notice how I'm wiggling? Because you don't want to put it in straight. You want the light to hit. And the light hits and it bounces off in different directions. And blue complements orange. So it has to look good in there. That's the law. Do a certain thing, follow the laws, which I'm going to be showing you. Boy, do we have some paintings coming down the line for you. Woo-hoo, really cool stuff. I'm going to take another color. Another color. Let's take a look at this one. White, yellow ochre, and a touch of cerulean blue. That's what's in here. You see, that's that color tone right there. Notice how I load the brush up, not just one way, but crisscross, crisscross, criss. Let's take that. And that's going to be our light color here. Yes. I'm going to put that in, and I'm putting that in very dry. Cool. Maybe I'll warm it up a little. Take a little touch of orange. And throw that in there. That just warmed it up. The other was a little too cold. Okay, there it is. And we're going to pull that across. This is the middle tone. I think I'll just kind of, when you come up to that line, just hit it so it softens it a little bit. Yeah. And I'm going to bring it, even though we're going to have some other colors, I think I'll bring it over. It's important, this is where it's important to have that gray background. Because the gray is a neutral color. And it will gray your colors down. From time, you're going to see me throughout the painting using my finger rather than a blending brush. Yes, you see, as that comes around and it curves, this is being sharper focus, but as it turns, because it's farther away, see, it helps to give you a feeling that it's receding. Now let's go for our dark. Who knows, what is that dark? Darks are always evasive. They always run from you, especially this one. So let's see what we get. You don't have to match it exactly. We're going to take some white and throw that in there. Maybe a little bit of our turquoise, a little bit of our black, because it's more of a gray tone. So I have white, turquoise, black, a little more, and we're going to test it up there to see if that's what we like. Maybe a little more, a little blue, a little more. See, you just keep mixing these colors until you end up with what you want. We're going to test it up here. See if that's what we want. See if it's dark enough. I'm going to put a little more orange and blue together. These are complementing colors, orange and blue. Yeah, that's a little better. And in it goes. Again, I haven't used any medium, have I? There's a time to use medium and a time not to. But I like the dryness. Coming around, it might get a little darker. Use black. I use black a lot. A lot of folks say don't use black, but I do. You could mix your own, but I don't, because you never use black by itself anyway. I'm down here mixing a little more black. You never use black by itself. I think it's people have a tendency to use black by itself, and that's where it gets a bad name. So you don't want to do that. Now, here's something that happens that's an optical illusion. When this tone meets a dark, or actually it's more of a middle tone, it gets a shade darker. It's just like when you look at the clouds in the sky. You look at a white cloud against the blue sky, the cloud always looks a little bit lighter, and the blue at the edge of the cloud, and the blue always looks a little bit darker. It's an illusion. Let's put that in there. There's that stroke again, guys. Ooh, use your finger. Don't be afraid. Get it in there. Down it comes. Okay. Got a little gray over there. I'm going to take some white. I like to establish my lights right away. There's light up there. It's going to come down. See how I turn the brush? Now I'm wiping the brush. I'm going to tickle those edges out. You see? This is great that I can take my time for you guys. Television, boy, the show would be over already. They rush you. Well, only 27 minutes, but on here we're going to just keep going until we're finished. Yeah, I'm going to add a little more. You see, it's all this little stuff. That's a little pink, a little phthalo red rose and white. Just look at the hint in there. Give me a break. Cool. This is blue. I'm mixing up a mixture down here. Let me show you this. Turquoise blue, way over here. Turquoise, blue. I would take some of my black and put it in with that blue. Yeah, I just made a stronger dark. Turquoise blue, black, very dry. Let's see what that is. Yes. It's sort of a cool dark because of the blue in there. See it? And in it goes. We have to have our dark to show form. That's neat. Bring it over. Very dry. Now if I had oil, if I had medium on my brush, it would be awfully slippery. I'm going to go into another dark. Black with maybe a little red. Let's see what that is. Black with some red. Yeah. So by putting red with the black, it gives me a very warm. And I'm testing. You see me testing the color. Black with the red. Test it. Yes, test it. See if that's what you want. Now another thing, the value, that is how light or how dark a color is more important than the color. Because if you get the wrong color, but you get the right value, you can get away with it. But if you have the wrong value, like if this shadow area were to be too light, it wouldn't have the shape and the form that we're looking for. Put a little more Zoe! Orange, yellow, white. I'm really going to punch that more. And because I'm working dry, you can see how I can go over that. And the paint sits on the top. I know I just put that light in. There it goes. Bye-bye. Just because you put something down doesn't mean it has to stay there, guys. Painting is all about, what if I did this? What if I tried that? What would I get if I did this or that or the other thing? Paint out of the box. Paint till you drop. Get some passion in your work and you'll find people will beat the path to your door. And if you're out there teaching, I know many of you are, try this stuff. If you find the paintings that you're doing are cookie cutter paintings and all of a sudden everything's starting to look the same, try this stuff. I'm still learning. I'm still going through the learning process. That's why even when I'm showing you stuff up here, I might venture off and try something different. I try not to because you're going to be getting a photograph. And I try to stay true to the photo. and not venture too far afield. Here's turquoise and white. Turquoise and white. Do, turquoise and white. Where's that? Well, that's going to go right in here. A little reflected light. Put it in. Maybe there's some over there too, on that little arm that's sticking in. Here's your finger again. Sometimes you can use a blender if the finger doesn't get it for you. All right, and our sienna color. Oop. It's about the width of the brush. I got lucky. See it? See it go in? Now maybe it gets a little darker, a little black with the sienna. Boop. I like that. Now, I might bring that dark down. Oh, look at my blue finger. So all this paint's non-toxic, so don't worry about it. Most people that are allergic to oils, it's really not the oil. It's the odorless thinner. If you're using that stuff that you buy in the hardware stores, don't do it. It's not good stuff. Make you sick. How are we doing? I'm going to start in now with some background color. And I'm going to use basically just black, to start with anyway. Black and sienna. Again, very dry. If I had medium, I wouldn't be able to control it. Back in here. Oh, I see there's going to be some lighter tones. Otherwise, I might lose that handle. Take your time. Don't rush the brush. No sense in doing that. And now I'm into the medium. And in it goes. Yes. Well, we got some covering some area here. Down it goes. The shadow is important. Oh boy. Oop. I'm looking at my vase. I better get it back into its outer shape. That'll happen. So we'll just bring that side out more. Bring it down more. That's good. We're going to go on the other side, black and sienna. Get a nice dark down here. Now you're going to see that light side of the vase. Pop. This is straight black. I really want it dark in there. Well, you better put some red with it or something. There you go. Just warmed it up a little. And what do we have on the bottom? Well, we're going to have a lot of flowers and stuff down there, so there's no sense doing too much. Right in there, we're going to, later on, I'm going to jump ahead, yellow, touch of turquoise. I'm going to put a little green back in, otherwise we'll lose that handle. And I'm going to bring that on up, because that'll tie in with greenery that we'll be putting in. Yes. Yes. Look at that. Oh, let me show you a color. This is a passion color. Passion. Red. Red. I love red. Look at the violets. Oh, and phthalo red rose. We're going to get into stuff. Look at that color. Just throw it in and let it sit there. Maybe a little bump and let it sit. It's like a high note that you might hear in an orchestra. My Brooklyn accent's coming out. Where you have high notes. Boom. They're way up high. And then you have the drums, boom, 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 boom. Those are your bass, your dark. That's your dark tones right in there. Yeah. So you have high notes. Whoop. Where'd that come from? Oh, that kind of looks cool. Well, somebody else is painting this painting. Who's doing that? Let's just sort of, oh, that's not bad. A little reflected light never hurt anybody. A little more blue. I'm going to punch this up. Yeah, boy, punch it up. Punch it up, you did. Pull that out. Boom. Yes. You must be dramatic about everything. Dramatic? What do you mean by dramatic? There's drama. Try it. I know you're sitting at home watching this. When you're painting, play the video. And you see me do this, do it. Don't even think about it. And just work it in. Work it in. Just, it feels good to do it. It just feels good to put paint on there and say, oh, I'm going to leave that. Took me years to build up to guts to be able to do this stuff I'm showing you. But you don't have to wait years. I'm here showing you. This is ultramarine blue. I don't use Prussian. Sometimes I might, but Prussian has a tendency to get into everything. So ultramarine seems to be a little more forgiving. I'm going to bring that dark over here, and I'm going to sweep it right under. You see, I just tied the background into the pot. Your darks hold everything together. You see how important that dark is? Right there. See the dark runs right into the background. Everything ties together. We're going to take a little more of our sienna. Maybe I might switch to a 1-inch brush. 1 inch. And these brushes are synthetic, but again, we'll get into that in our product list showing you the brushes and sizes and all that good stuff. Very dark. Very dark. What is that? Black and sienna. Sometimes my hand might be in the way. I'll try to keep it out. Now, wait before let's get down here. Notice again how I'm stroking it this way, this way, this way. Yeah. Now I'm going to do something a little weird. Well, before we get into weirdness here, I'm going to take my white and turquoise again. And I'm going to put a little bit right here. White and turquoise. And just, now, when a shape turns, well, a good rule of thumb is that a sharp edge is opposed by a loose edge or a fuzzed out edge. Sometimes you might have loose on both sides, loose here and loose here. Here, I want to give your vase or your pot a look of going round. I'm half on, half off. See it? Half on, half off. And I'm going to lose or just soften that edge. Now, if some of that gets in there, don't worry about it. Just get it in. If it gets in, just work it in. Look at it happen. We just fuzz that edge out. Now, many times, and you probably have the same problem, getting both sides to match is always a bummer. So don't worry about it now because we have flowers going over the bottom of this vase, so we won't worry about the edges not being exactly the same. So I'm going to wipe my finger off. Don't forget to wipe your finger. I have to stand in front of it, and I know I'm in front of you, but to see what's going on. Medium, sienna. And back into my little filbert. I'm going to take this and lose this down into the bottom and fade it away. But I don't want thick paint down here because we're going to have little flowers going over the top. Back to my large brush. Thin. You can see the paint run. Thin. Sienna, orange. Oh, yes. Look at the loosey-goosey, loose stuff. Okay, coming on up, I see some turquoise and white. Look at your photo, it's all right there. But don't just bring one color up to another and stop. Bring it in. Bring it in. There's our passion color, it's still there. Now, because our canvas is gray, I can put my color on thin. And the gray coming up will gray down that top layer. Yes, coming on up. Actually, this mixture I just put on here is the same mixture we used on the pot or on the vase. It is a pot. There's a little edge there. Let's bring that up. Ba-boom. Alrighty. White. Very dry. See, as your paint sets up, you'll be able to get the, don't pay attention to the little stuff. You see, it's this little stuff that makes the painting. You see how that follows? Yeah, make more white. You see that? Punch those lights up. Phthalo red, rose, and white. You'll always, when you look at a setup, you'll constantly see different colors. I guess because as the light changes in the room, the colors will change. Because where does color come from? It comes from light hitting the surface. I'm going to take just a hint of that pink. See, just because I had that laid in doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. This is phthalo red, rose, and white. This is true. Wet into wet painting. Constantly adding these real subtle tones. Well, that's not so subtle. Watch our values. We don't want anything in here to be as light as that. The eye will always go to the lightest part or the highest note in a painting. Because if you look at this painting now, try not to look at that. You can't. If you go over here or over here, you're still going to come right back here. So we're going to guide people through the painting with our lights. Look at there. Up at the top, just a little. Can you see that? Just a, oh, what is that? It's a little blue, little hint. Little hint of blue. Where's that coming from? Who cares? If it looks good, do it. Yeah. Down on the bottom, we're going to, I have to put, sometimes you're going to have to put this up on the easel, on the edge, because if you don't, you'll end up with a 1/4 inch of gray down there. This is black, and I'm going to put some alizarin with it, because I want it very dark on the bottom. Black. And this is going to be the dark that shows through underneath this drape that we have. I'm reaching for another paper towel. So dark goes in first. Then we're going to take our orange with a little sienna. Ooh. Let's put in more sienna and a little orange. And we're going to bring that, let me look over here. Yeah. We're going to bring that down. Right into the dark. Yeah. Just a feeling of a drape. We're not going to paint a hard drape with every little fold because that'll be distracting from the rest of our painting. But we want just a feeling. I'm going to bring some of this up. Bring it on up. Bring it on over. Then as soon as we take yellow, ochre, and white, yellow, ochre, and white, what's that going to, bam! Yes, boom, 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 boom. Now this, what I'm showing you, is loose. It's very loose. Your light is hitting in the lightest area, and then slowly it's going to disappear. But let's get a little orange and sienna. So we get a feeling there's some drape back there, still in the dark area. There's drape showing. Yes. And when that, in a little while, we'll have some fringe on there. Not quite yet. Boom. Don't be afraid to put light on. And you tickle that out. And work those edges. Look at the brush moving and twisting and turning. And then we're going to lose that edge way up, way up. Don't lose our red. If we did lose it, we can always find it. But you see the action? It's not just straight across. We have this part coming down. And we'll just leave that for now. Not too light on there. And this, we'll let that set up so we can put in our lilacs and wildflowers. Let's come on up. We're going to get this background going. As we come up on the right side, it's all it is on the right side of your canvas is black and white. If we find a spot, and we're going to make a gray out of it. Okay, and then we'll take that gray and we'll test it up here. Little medium. When I say a little medium, that means just the corner of the brush. A little more black. Now, because the background is already gray, the gray helps to gray down the color I'm putting in. You see these strokes? Don't just take a blending brush and blend it. Black and white. Going in. A little more black. There it goes. Work it in. Work it into that canvas. Feel the hairs going across the surface. Very important to get this crisscross stroke going. As I mentioned before, the light will hit and take off in different directions. We're going to take our sienna and white because I want to carry that color up to the top. Yeah. Sienna, just a little sienna, mostly white. I have medium with it, guys. But and I'm putting on thin, so the gray of the canvas is coming up and graying this down. Gives it what we call luminosity. There it goes. Yeah. Now we got a color back there that just doesn't quite tie in with anything, so just to make ourselves feel better, we'll put a little of that same color. This will be greenery coming out later. Okie dokie. And what else do we want to do? We have to set the stage up for our poppies and everything to go in. So I'm going to get darker back here. This is black. We haven't used any sap green. How come? I don't know why. Sap put on very dry and then worked out. Sap put on, and no leaves. See, the problem with painting is you see all the flowers and you see the leaves first. And so you paint that in first, but you don't paint what's underneath it. So what's neat about the course is that I'm showing you what's underneath what it takes to get to the top. Because if you jump from just to the top, there's no foundation underneath, and your house will fall up. You're building a house of cards. It's going to fall apart because there's no substance. There's no underpainting. There's nothing to hold it up, to give it some quality. Yes. We're going to put a little, oh, yes. Play. That's what painting with passion is all about. It's getting in here and painting and saying, what if I do this? What if I do that? And you have fun. Don't be boring. I'm going to kill that. I got a little bit bright. Yellow and a little yellow and some ochre. Let's get a better color. Yellow ochre. Now it's starting to set up so I can get some wonderful colors in there. Look at all the color. Now all that color is not in the vase. I'm putting it in because it looks cool. Still says vase. I'm going to get it. I might be in front of you. I don't know. All right. Do we need any? Now I want to make sure everything's in the background before we start doing anything else here. I see a little more red. Red. Watch the white. White will make it too pastel-y. See? Let's push that around. A lot of you look at my backgrounds and you go, how do you do those wonderful backgrounds? A lot of it's done with my finger. I don't want to get too far afield because you'll be getting a photograph and you'll go, wait, where did all that stuff come from? So just a little hint of it in there. And notice it gives it some rhythm. I see people try this and they just put it in straight. But think of it as smoke. Smoke that is just curling around, see? Right? Now that might not be in your photo. Please forgive. But I wanted to show you some of that stuff. Yeah, let's see. Let's get in here and put in maybe just a hint of some pinkish color over there, just to carry that over. Not much. All right. Okay. Our red survived throughout this whole painting. I don't know. Usually I start messing around and the red goes bye-bye. We will now take our large 1-inch brush. Da-da-da-dum. We're going to just block in underpainting. Let's just try ochre. Yeah. Maybe a touch of sienna. Yeah. And there's medium with it. Now I don't care what's going on inside. It's just the outside edge that I care about. See it? Now whether you're doing poppies or roses, it's still the same blocking stage. Working from dark to light, though this is probably more of a middle tone, the dark will be found inside. Let that outside color, you see it in there? You see it? So many people, they try to keep the color that's around it from getting in there, that you want it in there. And I'm showing you stuff, because I've been painting, 50 years. Boy, a long time. I'm showing you stuff that I learned over that course of time. Sometimes I learn more from my students because they're doing stuff that's really cool and they don't even know it. I have to point it out to them because they think it's reserved for everybody else, not for them. Oh, I couldn't possibly do that. That's only for this person or that person. I'm going to put that in, though it doesn't look like I'm looking for some color here. That looks like more mauve than anything. Let me try this. Crimson, because it's a red flower. Yeah, well, it still looks, well, there's the crimson. Dark, very dry. Just the outside edge, guys, and remember your flower has a tendency to grow a little bit. Green, sap green, crimson, and I'm going to go for some dark right here, because when I pick petals out, I wanted to pick up this dark. Now here's something important. You don't just go right for leaves. You just block it in, get a feeling of the leaves. But I don't want to see leaves. Because if we put leaves in, then we go, oh, I have to stay with that. No, 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 I want to be flexible. Many times when I'm doing roses, I go out into the rose garden. I'm very fortunate. Kathy, my wife, she takes care of the rose garden and fertilizes them and everything. But right now, we have no roses. But like I say, you guys, you go out there and get on the internet, look up silk flowers. Even some roses are really cool, the silk ones. And when I start doing some roses on the other shows, I will show you some silk roses that I work from. Now here, you can see what I'm putting in. Just a dark with maybe a feeling of roses, but not nailing anything down. I want to do, because, see, keeping it loose. And I say I put the poppies in. And I go, oh, maybe this shape would look better, or that. So as I don't know what to do out here until this goes in. And we get all kinds of little things jumping around. Create. Create. Be passionate about what you're doing. I know. I've been doing this for a long time, like I said. I still love what I do. This is called negative space. It's the space behind everything. You see the little bit of spark that adds to the back. Again, this little stuff. It's this little stuff. Boom. You see the energy that this just gave the painting? And it's very dry. This is what you guys need to do. You have to break away from the normal stuff you're doing. Of course, a lot of you guys are already doing great, so, please don't think I'm taking it for granted that you guys aren't already doing good stuff. Many of you are. Here, I'm going to reach out and pull that in. But we all can learn. Actually, we learn from each other. I learn from you guys when you come to our private classes here in beautiful Sedona. I learn a lot from you. Yeah. Sometimes I think you guys should be paying me when you come here, because I learn a lot. I'm going to add just a little color. Now, this is what we put in before we start picking petals. Use your finger. Now, whatever colors you want in your painting, coming from the inside out, now's the time to put it in. Very dry. Watch the flat, and I turn it and wiggle just with the tip. You see, and you have to develop a light touch. Develop a light touch. You see how I could, I'm not even holding the brush hard. Just let it go. Let it run. Let it run. Feel the texture. Feel the dry, semi-dry paint underneath. Offering, it's giving us a little resistance, which is what you want. That way you're not slipping and sliding all over the place. And with this technique, you're going to find, because you're playing with color, you have a setup that every painting you do is going to be a little bit different. And that's what you want. You guys are teaching out there. Do some of these paintings, or do them all. And don't you be the judge of whether they're good or not. Show them to your students. Wait for their reaction. Wait for them to say, oh, teach me that. I want to learn how to do that. And you go, okay. And you're off and running with some. And you'll pick up new students all the time because of this nice color. People are attracted to color. It could be anything up here. You know, if you have just really crummy, bad color, nobody's going to like what you're doing. I don't care what you're painting. Especially with flowers. It's color, 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 color. Everything's color. Let's come down to the bottom of this pot down here. And we'll just block in, because we're talking about color. This is violet. Look at the color. Violet. Violet. And there's going to be some lilacs down here. So I'm just blocking this in, mainly right now to show you how beautiful color is. All right. So, and notice how I'm turning the brush and twisting. Okay, now our painting is all laid in and it's ready, sitting there ready for our poppies to go in on our next segment. Okay, well, I think we did a pretty good job there, and I'll see you guys on the next segment. Hi, and we're back for segment number 2 of poppies in a clay or ceramic pot. It's an old farmer's old pot with some beautiful poppies in it. Let's take a look at the painting and let's pick up on where we left off before. We're going to come up here. I've got a base tone in and it's wet. And I'm going to take, now sometimes, this is cad red light. And we could take, that was alizarin underneath, guys, remember? We put alizarin in there. And then I took some alizarin straight out of the tube. We got a little bit darker. Don't use any black or that'll muddy everything up. This is cad red light and it's very dry. And if you want, you could put a little sketch in first to indicate where these petals are. And we have some in the back. Like that. Now, here we have petals right here that are flipped up. Let me show you. At the base of every petal, there's a vanishing point. And your strokes are all going to head towards that vanishing point. Now, you'll have another petal here. It'll have a vanishing point, and all your strokes will head towards that point. Let me show you how that works. We're going to start here and just head towards that point. There's a petal. Then we might have another petal here. Now I'm doing something you really don't see me do. 2 things, actually. I'm loading up more cad red light. When I come up here, I push back and then forward, but as I come, I pull up and away. It's back and up and away. So it's this. It's like hitting a golf ball. You know how you follow through? The stroke is the same thing. So that is all we're doing. And you'll find that this stroke is used in everything. It's used in rose painting. Now watch me do it slow. Here I come in halfway, and as I come in, I pull up and away. Because if I don't pull up and away, what happens? Let me show you the wrong way to do it. That's you come in, but you don't pull up and away. You keep coming in, and you see how I just lost the dark? It all went bye-bye. So when you pull up and away, it gives you that dark that separates the back petals from the front. Do it again. Another one here. Push down and pull up. And after you practice a while, you'll get into the rhythm of it. And you'll be doing it without even thinking about it, because it'll become second nature to you. This is the same thing, but shorter. Now, this is more the middle tone. It's not the light. The light will go on in a minute. And just learn to do this stroking, push down, pull up stroke. As we come up, now the one thing you want to do when you're painting red flowers, don't put white with it. As soon as you put white, it's going to turn pink. This is orange, just a hint. Here's that pushed out. Look at it happen. You see it? You see it? Yes. Orange. A little shot there. Maybe there's a little petal up in the air. And here. Yes, yes, yes. Whoa, a very light stroke coming. Oh, barely. Ooh, that one got a little long. Orange. Sometimes you can mix orange and cad red light together if you don't want it too orangey. See it? Now, if it starts to get a little orangey, and that one might be, we're going to take a little more cad red light and hit in there. Of course, cad red light it's an orangey white or orangey red, so it's going to be that way. But I like that color. It's really popping. It's really popping. Now, we can. I'm going to pick this palette up for you guys, because it's important that you see this stuff. There's your cad red light, right there. So and then I went from cad red light, I wanted to pick petals out, to orange. Now, I'm going to go in a few places and pick up some of this cad red light. Just in a few places, not overall, or it'll turn on you. It'll turn yellow. But we still need cadmium orange, cadmium yellow, cad yellow light, cadmium orange. Ah, yes. You see that? Can you see that little punch? You see it? I'm pushing back. You see it? Just a hint, guys. Now, it's a personal thing. It depends on how much of that light you want hitting in there, but not too much, or it'll lose that beautiful red color we want. Side of the brush and wiggle. Wiggle, look, wiggle. You see how it looks like a lot of petals? Yellow and orange. Put it in. These are foreshortened edges, so it looks nice and full. If you find that yellow might be a little bit yellowy for the red we want, we'll just knock it back. Knock it back. See? Doesn't have to stay that orangey. Inside, let's take a little sap green, touch of mauve, half circle like that. And then using some sap green. Now I'm using synthetic brushes, and you can see they come to a nice chisel edge. And all I do is go straight in, straight out. Then you're going to have, I'm going to use the side of the brush, a little orange and yellow, just the edge of it, and tap, tap, in a very loose manner, the fact that there's something in there. Cool. Now, let's go down to the next guy. What do we have going on down there? No, these are really yellow poppies. Cad yellow medium. We're just going to jump right in. There's a beautiful foreshortened edge. Look at me push that brush around. See it happen? This is just yellow, very dry. Here's another one. Edge, push, let the brush work for you. No, we're not going to go for the big petals you see everybody doing. We want a little drama in our painting. Dark, middle tone. I'm just going to show you where we're going with this. And we're going to put some white. Let me show you. I cannot show you the palette enough times. White. And way over here, cad yellow medium. You see the two colors mixed together. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that go along. Ice blue. Let's come over here and say, hello, ice blue. What will you do? What color will you make for me? Where can we use that? Well, maybe in a little while we'll find a place for it. But right now, we're not going to use the ice blue, but I just wanted to show you how color, when we're on our palette, don't be afraid to experiment. Now this is white and yellow. There's no ice blue. I just wanted to show that to you. Here, this is where we're going. Can you see the contrast? Not a lot, but look at me wiggle the brush. Let that brush work. Because it's all these little nuances. It's all these little things that make the painting. Oh, look at that. Look at it picking up that gray back there. Now, let's put a little more orange and yellow together. Look at that, a little more orangey feel. Coming down into this. You see how it just brought the eye around? Yeah. And coming around this way. Now we're going to pick up our white, yellow, and we're going to pick this. There's that back. You see me pushing back. Look at the red come in. Let it in there. Yes. Wet into wet means we're picking up color that surrounds our flower. Yeah. It takes a little playing around. A little more white in there. Some places you'll have more white, some more yellow. Here's a good example of that push down, pull up stroke I'm telling you about. Yellow and white. Push down, and as I come up, I'm going to pull up and away. One stroke overlaps the previous stroke. Less pressure as it comes into the dark. Another one here. Push down, pull up. And around it comes. And we'll be going over this in a minute. This is just getting it started. Everybody wants your flower to be a flower with just a couple strokes. It doesn't happen that way. Sometimes your finger in there makes it happen. More white. Look at the flip. Even follow through. Just like when you throw a ball, you don't just stop, but you follow through. Yes. Woo. Yeah, got a little dark in there. And around it comes and ties back in. Now we're going to take a little yellow orange. This wants to sort of droop down there a little bit, so it looks like you can see underneath. A little more orange back here. Maybe there's a little shadow. Yeah, a little more orange. Yes. This fun stuff. And if it doesn't happen for you right away, you just take it off. Take it off, scrape it off. I've put in roses and I've scraped them, put them in 5 times, 10 times, whatever it takes. Who cares how long it takes? You'll win eventually. And as I've said many times, the difference between the haves and the have-nots is the haves have tried and failed more than the have-nots. That's right. You keep hanging in there. Just like what I'm doing, I'm hanging in there. I'm still stroking and looking, no matter how many times I painted poppies. You still have to work at it. If it goes in real easy, you're in trouble. Yes. The poppy has been a good flower to me over the years. I started painting poppies when I was in California years ago. And I started, well, this was back in the 70s. Woo. And I painted orange poppies, red poppies. I used to show my paintings on the side of the road in Del Mar, California, next to the racetrack. They didn't even have freeways going those days, just one road going into La Jolla. And I sat by the side of the road selling my paintings. I worked 6 days a week I was a custom framer for a while. And I worked, and so I could only show on Sunday, so I'd take my paintings down. I'd nail them to trees. Most of them didn't have frames. I couldn't afford frames. The tourists would come by on the one little road that ran through on the way to La Jolla. And they would buy my stuff. And most of the time I would sell out in one day. Well, this was with an art association. And I had just joined. And here me, this little squirt, setting up, and these other, mainly women, were there for a long time. And I come and I sell out. Well, the next weekend I go in there and there's all these poppy paintings. Yeah. Of course, they weren't that great. And I kept on selling. Why? How come my stuff was selling? It's because even then I loved color. I loved it. I would have people come to me and say, oh, I would love your painting if I just had a little more red in it, or a little more orange, or a little more this. And I would have my palette with me. And I would go, okay, you want more red? No problem. I would pick up the red and go underneath the vase and go, and there's your red, and they'd buy it. Yeah. Hey, when you have 3 kids, you got to do what you, little babies in diapers, you got to do what you have to do. And that's how I started. And that's a little mob going in. That's how I started doing this stuff. Yeah. So the poppy has been good to me. Yeah. Actually, and I started painting these poppies from silk flowers. Yes. And I worked 6 days a week for this framing company. It was a big store, and we had a big room in the back that wasn't being used. And this lady wanted to rent out that room. And she was a flower designer, and she would get these wonderful silk poppies from France. Now, like these poppies were $4 or $5 a piece back in the 70s, so I couldn't afford them. But she let me use them. And I would go in the storeroom and I had I was like a kid in a candy store. I had my pick of all these wonderful silk flowers. And that gave birth to what you see me doing today. Yes. Things happen. Orange. Little dots in here. See it happening. Put a little yellow with that. Cad yellow medium. Just with the edge of the brush. And those paintings, again, that I sold by the side of the road weren't even framed. And they didn't have box canvases or gallery wrap in those days. But they sold anyway, which gave me the confidence to go ahead and continue. Those were the days. We all have to start someplace, guys. I had nobody showing me these strokes I'm showing you. Nobody. And over the years, I developed this style of painting. Yeah. Oh, there's some more white. Look at that. Look at the light hitting in there. Pure white. Give me a break, guys. Look, boom, boom. Get something in there. Be dramatic. You gotta love it. You gotta love painting. You have to love the smell of paint. Yeah. There, I'm putting some orange in here. Maybe we have a color that's called ice blue. Can you see it right there? Ice blue. My wife Catherine's favorite color, ice blue. I will put a little gray back in here. Now I'm going to overlap that red guy back there and let it, it's okay. Look, you can see the color change. Yes. Many times you'll do a painting and you'll have a setup and you set all your stuff up and your flowers and you put your light on and you're painting away and you end up with something a little different. That's okay. That means you're letting your imagination work. Cool. I want red, orange, yellow, dry, bam. Look at the light coming from the inside, which ties in with that guy on the top. Maybe some of that put in here. You see working dry. Get your finger, pick up some of it, throw it in there. Oh, yes. Fingers free. Now, it's all set up. You see, it's just waiting for that to happen. That's all. We're going to take our white and cad yellow medium. White, cad yellow medium. Now this has a petal like here. Let me put a little sketch in for you. Here, here, here. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, each petal will have its own vanishing point. Oh, there's another petal up here. Has its own vanishing point at the back or the base of the poppy. And you're going to put, you could even go in and put little lines like this in. Because after a while, you won't need to do the little lines because you'll visualize them in your mind's eye. Here's another one. Now these all head, this is curved, straight, 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 curve. Curve, straight, 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 curve. Okay, now you do that. All right, if you're painting along with me, do you have that in? Now, here's the magic. I'm just picking up, let me show you this, what I'm picking up. Don't want any surprises. White and yellow, cad yellow medium. And the white is titanium white. Titanium white. Now there's no medium. Well, that flower looks a little strange. We start from the outside, push down and pull up like I told you. And there's your petal. That's a little crude, but at least it's in there. Here's another one. And halfway around the back. You see how easy? We might pull that one way out. Why not? There's maybe a little edge there. Boom. What's in there? Who cares? It looks like there's something going on in there. That's all we care about. If we got too much white, well, let's put a little more yellow with it. More yellow. Push down, pull up. Comes around this way. A little white. You're never going to get it the first time in, because it takes some messing with. I call it messing. You get in and you mess with it. Follow those lines in there. All we're doing is getting it started, and it always looks crude when you first start these things. Yeah. We're just finding our way through it. We have petals in the back. Oh, my background is dry. Yeah. Let's go in and wet that background down again, because it has to be wet. I'm just picking up some black and white. Remember, during the first segment, we did this black and white. And it's a little warm in the studio, so the paint is setting up a little faster. That's all right, no problem. We'll just wet it down. Wet it down. Yeah. Now, let's take our white and yellow, and we're going to go in the back and pick out some translucent petals. Can you see it? Push down and pull up. You want to pull up just before you bang into that petal. Maybe just a little over that. You see it happening? Actually, back in the old days, people bought my poppies because they loved the outer edge. Look at it go. Again, I had nobody showing me back in those days. Yeah. Look at it happen. Look at. Can you see the curve? The curve. Be dramatic. Your strokes must reflect how you feel. You don't want to go up here. There's a stroke that's called a miserly stroke. It's a stroke that has no paint on it. It doesn't want to use a lot of paint. It's just there. There's no paint on the brush. There's another brush, stroke, that hesitates. Oh, I don't know whether, oh, no. That's a hesitating stroke. Now I'm going to show you another stroke, the one you should be using. I'm going to put more white out because I just ran out of white, titanium white. Then there's the stroke that has mostly white, yellow. It's loaded up. It's confident. It knows where it's going. It knows what it wants to do. And you put the stroke down, and you push down, and you pull up, and bam, 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 and you get it in there. If it's wrong, then you painted it in wrong in a nice, strong way, without hesitating. All right, it turned out wrong. So I'll scrape it off, but it doesn't mean I'm going to go in with another miserly stroke or a stroke that hesitates. I'm going to put my brush down and say, go for it. Honey, do it. You know, if you can spend your time, your money, let's do something worthwhile. Look at the highlights going in. Boom. Yes. Don't be afraid to fail. I meet so many people, they're afraid to fail. If you're afraid to fail, you'll never do this stuff. Again, like I said, the professional has tried and lost more times than the person that's trying to do it and just gives up. The pro's been where you are. We've all been there. It's just that we didn't give up. We kept trying. I'm not going to give up. And if I don't get it, if I die, then I died trying. And I'll still feel good because I'll still be a winner. Yeah, might be poor, but I'll be a winner. Look at it go. Look at it. Look at, play with those edges. See how I push back? Look, you see that edge? No. You get all fired up out there and you get your base on and you do your thing and you crash and you burn. Well, that's part of the learning process. That's part of being creative. That's part of being different. Crash and burn, yes, I love it when I crash and burn because it means I've learned something. Oh, I learned not to do what I was doing. Yeah. That's why you're bored, you guys. Well, not all of you, but many of you. You get bored. If you're bored, your painting is going to reflect your boredom. It's going to say, oh, wow, look at that painting. That was done by a bored person. So, play with color. Yes. Yes. There's going in again. There's again. There. Yes. You see the curve? You notice how my whole arm is in it. Bam. Yeah. I know. Yes. What is that? Cadmium orange? Yes. Finger, blend it in. Leave it. I like that little texture in there. Boom. Yes. Oh, look at that. This is orange, right? But I don't run it all over the place. You see your color dances. It dances. It dances from petal to petal. And it gives you that look. Oh, that look. Now, I got, and showing you this stuff, in the painting, you might, in your photo that you'll be getting, you'll probably see that these are a little more yellow. Well, when you're doing your thing, just put a little more yellow in there. And yours will match the photo. Here I'm putting more yellow in. It's getting a little too far away from the photo, and it might be confusing for you. There it goes. There it goes. Yeah. Now, fun stuff. Oh, we have stuff on the bottom. We might get some of that on the bottom. Right about in here where we have lilacs. And we have some wild things growing around. First of all, let's take a little phthalo, yellow, green. We haven't used that. And we're going to use that, and we're going to get some of these stems going. Now, don't get wormy with your stems. Wormy means this. That's wormy. That's a no-no. So, in order to make your stems strong, we actually go this way, this way, this way. Kind of an angular, but not a roly-poly. All right. Now, stems are important. Here's some of it just barely there. Oh, let's come over the top. Yeah, stems give us a nice action through here. We're going to take yellow, phthalo yellow green, a little yellow. Notice how it's just going to hit it where the light might hit those stems. Maybe there's a leaf. Whoa, wait a minute. How did you do that leaf? I see it. It's pretty fancy. Good for you. But I want to know how to do it. Straight. Turn. And then back. Let me do another one. Straight and back. When I say back, let me go flat and turn. There it is. That's all there is to it. And you might have different colors that you'll use. Maybe with the phthalo yellow green, we'll pick up a little orange. And phthalo yellow green. Oh, how about some chrome oxide green? Let's play. Let's experiment. Another one here. And another one there. Yellow. Green. Woo! Now I'm working dry. We're going to come in there and put those lilacs in. We're going to change brushes. I'm going to pick up a filbert brush. And again, when you download all of our paints and brushes and what we're using, it'll all be in there for you. We're going to take mauve. Mauve, or mauve. If you're from Texas, you know it's purple. There it goes. Sometimes you'll use the flatty brush. I'm coming up over the top. This is mauve, or mauve, purple, straight out of the tube. Sometimes I'm going to use the side. I only care about the outside, what we're doing, where it's going, and the dark goes in first. A lot of folks do these little flowers and they paint in the color they see on top and they go, oh, it's not working because you don't have that dark under there. We're going to take some mauve and white. Oh boy. Now how do you paint a grouping of flowers without painting every single flower, and it would draw too much attention down here? So we just paint a few. Watch me paint in a few, using the side of the brush, very dry, because the dry is sticking to the wet. And then we're going to go in and fake in the rest of them. Sometimes you'll use the flat. Look at that. Look at it. You see how we show a few, and the eye says, well, that must be the same thing. And that's all there is to it. We'll go back in and add a little more light. Now some of these have a little pink, so let's take Phthalo Red Rose in white. Phthalo Red Rose in white. Some of them just kind of stick out there a little. Phthalo Red Rose in white. See that pink back in there? Yeah, a little more. There it is. There it is. Here and there. Here and there. More there than here. Okay. And I got a liner brush down here. I'm going to pick up. And phthalo yellow green. Let's try some. You'll find some stems inside here. Some chrome oxide green's good to use. Let's make that a little darker so it shows back there. Yeah, see it? Don't rush the brush, guys. We've gone this far without rushing, so let's not rush. Yeah, more. Now watch here, if you want a bud, you come out and push, 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 push. And you just get the feeling of some buds jumping around. The other one there, look at that go. And we have some yellow ones down there. These are just little wildflowers. You could use just about anything you want. Again, I'm going to get in front of you here. I'm going to grab some of these flowers and show you. This was in the setup. And this is what we have down there. See? This is why it's important to have something to look at. Otherwise, you paint the flowers all the same. You paint all the leaves the same. And if you have something to look at, you won't do that. So we need help. Excuse me, I'm in front of you there. So let's take yellow and white, and we'll find maybe a side view where it's just the edge is foreshortened. Get more white. And push down and pull up. There's that push down, pull up stroke. It'll follow us all over the place. Yellow and white again. I'm going to hit it again. Oh, yes. And another one up here, right on top of the lilacs. Side, loose. Let's get more in there. Yeah, very dry. And when you're doing these little guys, you just have to jump in there and make it happen. Maybe a little lighter for the front. There it is. So it looks like you can see inside of that flower. Some of them might change. Maybe you'll have a yellow, orange, green. Maybe another guy down here has a little more orange in it. See? And we'll take a yellow and white. And just hit it here and there. And let it go off into shadow. Yeah. Play with it. Don't accept it for being not the best you can do. Orange, yellow, white. Another one here. There's that side view. Sometimes when you just lay them in, it works, but it's very seldom. You have to get back in and keep trying. Maybe that should go into shadow a little more back in here. And then we'll hit that with some white and yellow. Just don't get fingery with them, where you have this kind of thing where all your petals are just the same. Chrome oxide green. Something in the middle. Boom. Maybe that'd be a little bit too much. Yeah. And we're going to get sienna, chrome oxide green, and leaves coming out. Yeah. Maybe another leaf here. We could take a little brush. Maybe a little crimson, just a little shot to show a center. Yeah, see, making centers really sets the flower off. Well, we got 4. Can you have 4? I don't know. I've got mine. When you look at your photo, you'll probably see they're in a different place. How did I do that? And maybe I don't like, well, this is a good example for you. What happens if you put a flower in it and you go, oh, I don't like it? Yeah, that's what knives are for. We're going to take it out. Scrape, scrape. And we'll put our leaves back in, our stems or whatever is back in there. Yeah. Have to get rid of that guy in there. So don't worry if you mess up. Here, teacher just messed up. Who cares? Now we have another one in there, but it's a little smaller. It's a little more over this way. Now that's better. See? So, don't worry. The knives are made to scrape stuff off. And nobody will ever know that you messed up. Yeah, so our dark's going in, and we're going to get a few lighter leaves in there. Because the light would be hitting on these leaves here and there. Yeah. Cool, cool, cool. Let's put this up. Let me take this away. Put this up on the lip. And we're going to take some sienna and white. Ooh, too bright. Test your color. There's a little fringe hanging down here. Might use the other brush. Liner brush. And you notice that the fringe going in. Now you're going to use some medium. They all go in kind of different directions, so don't have it all the same. And you push up, push down, and then pull up. Kind of the same stroke we've been using. And don't make it perfect. It looks better if it's not. And there's a little edge like this going across. Simple, simple. See it? Let it just go into nothing. Put our little edge on here. There is a side that comes down here. This part is put in to break that edge up so it doesn't go straight across. And there it goes. And if you start running out of paint, instead of picking up more, put more medium on it. That'll help it finish it off. Now this just will come over this way, and it just goes into nothing. We're going to go up here. Oop. I want a feeling of a little more height. That cloth is going up. Yeah, see, just a feeling of it going up there. Okay, well, we've got some leaves going in and some little wildflowers going in. So I think on the next segment, we'll get into our leaves up on the top and leaves in through here, maybe some buds and things happening, but there's also some wildflowers on the top. Okay, see you for the next segment. Okay, we're back. Let's get some more good stuff going. We're going to come up to the top and put in some leaves up here. Before we have some wildflowers to put in, but before we put them in, we need to get a little color. Maybe we'll overlap that poppy just a bit. Get a little more phthalo yellow green going. And I'm just bouncing around up here. I'm not making here's a leaf, there's a leaf. It's just bouncing. Then I've got a brush that's called a liner brush. And I'm going to dip into the medium, phthalo yellow green. And let's put in, there's a little kind of a twig. Make it a little darker. Aha, there it is. And we have another stem for our little wildflowers. Stem here, stem there. Don't make a big deal of the stems. Then, now we're going to put our little guys in on the top. This one came out a little lighter than your photo, but they all come out different. Hey, if you want to add a little more orange, we could. Let's get a little, let me show you the palette. And let's see what we have up here. We have yellow and white. Can you see my white? Sometimes I paint off the screen. Yellow, white. We'll put the back ones in first, push down and pull up. Yeah, maybe that needs a little orange with it. There, another one here. Notice how I push down the flat and then turn as I come in. Maybe we'll have a little guy here. Watch it pick up the green that's around it. See the green get in there? Notice that green, put that little guy right in the shadow. We're going to pick up a little more yellow. White. Boy, I'm working really dry on this painting. Now, look at, can you see how we just barely hit it? So the light is just catching on the edge of the petal. It's not on the whole petal. You do that and the whole flower goes bye-bye. It gets flat looking. Again, the filbert is the best brush to use because the petals are round and the hairs on the brush are round, so it works. Yellow and white. Maybe we have one overlapping. And again, bump, bump, just a little touch here and there. You see? And hold your brush very lightly. Not like a shovel. Little center there, little center there. And we have a little stem. Boink. Oh, look at that. There's another guy over there. Let's take this ice blue. Nice cool color. And he's just kind of there. You see? He's just there. Let's not make a big deal of it. And you're going to see Catherine is going to come on down the line here. And she'll be doing some technique for you. Sometimes I go a little fast. She's going to show you how to do little buds, little things. Maybe some things that aren't even in the paintings I'm doing. So, and she'll slow down. She'll do a poppy for you, but she's going to do a much more simplified poppy, which is very important. Because the poppy is the simplest flower to do, you guys. Mainly because the petals are so large. And she'll do another one showing larger petals, which really illustrates what I'm talking about here. This handle got a little lost, so let's go up there and black and sienna. And I'm going to turn it and tie it right in there. Yeah, so that it looks like it's part of the pot. Cool. What else? Oh, yeah, we've got some leaves down in here. Phthalo yellow green, chrome oxide green. Oh, look at that petal. Look at that leaf going. Leaves on this side are in there for a reason. Because it balances the painting off. Phthalo yellow green. Can you see that stroke? Let's do it slower. Flat. See how it's flat? You wiggle a little bit and then twist it back. You see it? Yeah. Now these, I'm going to get my liner brush. Here's your liner. Little bit of our medium. And this kind of shoots off this way. Can you see how thin and how delicate that is? Another one, very important, it's going to come down. It's going to come down. And this is bringing the eye, if I can get it light enough, there. Yes. It brings the eye back. And so when people are viewing your painting, they start we have an S curve. Let's start it way at the top up here. There's an S curve. Let me show you that. It starts up here. See that little stem? It's going to go, flows behind this puppy, comes on down, catches this line, and then comes around this way. So we have this S curve running through the painting. Very, very important. And you'll find me using S-curve in all the paintings that I'll be doing for you. Again, Catherine will come on, showing you some wonderful technique. And also, Kathy has a style that's a little bit tighter than what I do. So that's good. So you guys will get to see loose stuff and a little other stuff that's a little tighter. I want to bring this out a little more. You see how important it is to bring these lights out, because what that does, it balances the painting off. So right at the end, oh, got a little red in there. Looks cool. Right at the end is when we look at the whole painting, especially the lights. Make sure everything is working. Let's take some of this wonderful ice blue, which is a nice cool light. I put it behind the old pot to bring that edge out more. I want to take my time, make sure I have everything in here, because I don't want to watch this later and go, oh no, why didn't I do this and that? This is wonderful, being able to take my time and showing you stuff that I wasn't able to do on TV. 27 minutes, that's all they gave us. I'll put a little green in there. Yeah, they wouldn't give us any more time. Did you miss that? Right there, green. Yow. Now, I'm getting real quiet because I'm looking the painting over. Some of these dots are be hanging down over the top. That little green is important in there. What else do we need? Well, and remember, this guy's a little whiter than the photo you're getting. But we have time. Maybe, see, there's a petal. Maybe shining from underneath that petal is a little warm glow of orange coming out from underneath. It also accents that petal. That's cool stuff. Yep. Play, play, play. People coming to our classes here in Sedona are semi-privates. Boy, are they getting some work done. Great. Only 5 people. And they work from our books. And they're just doing wonderful. Yes. And what I'm doing now is just running around the whole painting, touching it here, touching it there, making sure we have everything we need. And also it's best, you guys, when you do your paintings, to walk away. Get away from it. Look at it the next day. Many times these little colors, they're so important. You see that little pink? Oh, it looks so cool. Maybe a little more of that warm color over here to bring it around a little bit more. See? Yeah. Listen to the little voice inside of you that says, do this. Try that. My little voice said, put a little yellow right there. It says, hey, maybe there's a little reflected light in there coming from these flowers. Oh, yes, don't get carried away. The little voice says, too much, too much. I don't know. Think that's too much? I don't know. That kind of looks cool. That looks cool. Why not? A little of that purpley colors. I love reflecting the light of whatever's around. Back up. You see, at the end of your painting, when all is said and done, it's the little stuff that makes the painting. It's all this little, oh, look at that. Oh, look, look, look. You see how that just brought it, because it is round, isn't it? Yes. I put a stroke down and leave it. Don't go messing. Well, I think we're did a pretty good job here. I want you to try this stuff. I actually want you to really paint beyond yourself. And when you paint outside of your comfort zone, this is where you're going to feel uncomfortable. Let me see the folks at home. I want to talk to them a minute about stuff. Stuff. Painting out of your comfort zone. What does that mean? And you've probably all experienced what it's like to paint outside your comfort zone. And when you do, creativity lives over here. Creativity lives where you're not comfortable. Does that make sense? It lives where you're not comfortable. And what happens when you come over there and you screw up and it looks muddy and it's terrible, and you revert back to where you were? And you say, oh, I want to try it again. And you come over and you're uncomfortable and it's garbage. And you go, oh God. And you try it and then you give up and you stay right where you are. And you look at other people doing whatever they're doing, or you watch them on YouTube and Facebook or whatever, and you go, oh, aren't they good? Oh, they're marvelous, blah, blah, blah. You're capable of doing it. They're not any smarter than you are. It doesn't matter how many letters they have after their name, PhDs and Dean, gadang, gadang. There's too many of those that don't even know what they're doing. It doesn't matter. I barely made it through high school, guys. Yeah. But I stuck to it. Stick to it. Focus. Be passionate. And you will win. You follow all these little courses I'm giving you and these segments and what we're doing. Follow them along, paint along. And if you crash and burn, who cares? Send me your crash and burns. I want to see them. Yeah. Because that's when I see you crashing and burning, that means when you're trying. So you crash and burn, you go back. Crash and burn, you go back. I don't care if it's 100 times. But maybe the 101st time, you are a winner. And now you have a broad base to build on. And you'll come up and you'll be the best painter you can possibly be. Just don't give up. And I'll see you guys on another segment. Not this one, because this painting's finished, but another painting. See you later. Bye-bye.